All right, welcome to another edition of the Hellion Rocks. You're not going to believe the guest we have today, Mike Orlando, guitarist extraordinaire. Mike, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
Oh, yeah. So we're all excited about hearing the new EP coming out, and we've all got a taste of the Romeo Delight teaser. Tell us about this new EP, man.
It's a collection of some real cool slamming classic rock tracks. It's kind of like it's the stuff that influenced us, although it still influences us to this day. It's, kind of look back and, it's kind of a collection of definitely classic rock tunes that just rock, slamming tracks, and we try to do our best to, pay tribute to them and do the best we can to give it to kind of the Adrrenaline Mob taste, so to say, or a little flavor of what we do to it, but, pretty much stayed true to form on the stuff. I really think people are going to definitely dig Coverta.
Yeah, man, I've seen the track listing. It's going to be an incredible thing. And one of the things that blew me away was that little teaser from Romeo Delight. It was always one of my favorite Van Halen songs. And no disrespect to them, I always felt that it was a harder song than they recorded it, more dangerous. And you guys did it justice. You guys did it the way I felt it should originally be done. And no disrespect to Van Halen. I'm a diehard Van Halen fan, but you guys dangerous it up something fierce.
Yeah, I mean, it's, and David Lee Roth together, that era, is holy grail. It's, you can't go any wrong, picking anything, but it's definitely, a really cool grooving track. It's got swagger to it, and, it's definitely something we agreed would fit the band, doing it. I mean, Portnoy came up with the idea, and it's not like we tried to do it any different or make it heavier. We just decided doing the track. We thankfully, I guess, have a sound where it comes across a little heavier, so that's great. And the track takes some twists and turns in the middle, and there's some cool medleys that was thrown together. So it's kind of interesting. It gets really cool in the middle.
Yeah, I can't wait for that to come out. It's out on the 12th, I believe, and I'll be running down to get that one for sure.
Yes, March 12th comes out in the U.S. And Canada, I believe, and the rest of the world will follow, maybe a month or so later. Europe and all the other territories.
Nice. On the current tour, are you guys going to include some of those tracks in the set?
Yeah, I hope so, man. Shit, man, you have to pry me off the stage sometimes. I'll stay up there and play everything we got.
Right.
I hope we get to do everyone. It depends how long we can go, and I believe we're trying to pull off a 90-minute set, for the tour. So I would imagine we can get a whole lot of them in there.
Nice.
Yeah.
So in talking about Adrrenaline Mob, obviously, everybody's got their own other projects they're working on.
Yeah.
The sound of Adrrenaline Mob, I hear all the influences in it, but yet you guys sound distinctly your own.
Yeah.
How did that all come to be about when you guys wrote the first record? Was it everybody bringing in their own influences, or did you guys jam together and come out with that? Or how did the process go for writing it?
Yeah, there was no jamming. The album was completed before actually Mike Portnoy joined the band. The whole thing kind of came about, I was doing this whole kind of genre and this sound and this thing that I used to call Adrenaline Fueled Junkies. It was a band I had for a few years, and just different lineups, and just things don't work, and voices don't fit well. You just keep trying at it. I've been working with Russ for a few years. We were writing and recording a follow-up CD to his Atomic Soul solo effort. So we kind of just, we would work as much as we can, and Russ would go on Symphony X tours, and I would go do Sonic Stomp tours, and so we kind of just like do it when we can. But basically I hit a real snag in the road and, kind of parted ways with the singer at the time, which was a good friend of mine, and just didn't work out. And I presented this, a big amount of material, almost everything that kind of made it to, it all made it to the album, let's say. We just added stuff that me and Russ wrote exclusively for the album, like On the Line and Freight Train, all this stuff. But everything else I had presented to Russ, and I said, listen, man, I think you would be great singing rock, a rock context, just, some badass, kick-ass rock. And he was totally into it. So I brought over Indifferent and Angel Sky, and verbatim, he just knocked it out just the way you hear it. And it was magic, So then we took the collection of songs that I had, and basically just me and Russ, took it and crafted it and, changed stuff. The singer before him was drastically different, and Russell's incredible and could do anything. So I was like, okay, we could do A to Z now. And we just made it our own, the entire album. So that's really how it worked out. We just took everything I had and really just reworked it and retooled it, and that's Omerta.
It works, man. It's one of my favorite records I've made in the past few years that came out, and it's all over the map, and it's just got a great sound and a great feel. You put it on in the car when you're driving, and it's a great road TV.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm into. I'm not, the funny thing is I play with these guys in these huge prog bands and, respectfully, amazing bands, Dream Theater and Symphony X, just the top of the mountain to what they do. But I'm a rock guy, I'm brought up on, just Van Halen and Rhodes and all the, the great rock players. So I just like slamming, bouncing, grooving stuff. Like you just said, you could drive into the car, you throw on down to the floor, and you just hit the pedal and you go. That's just what I was growing up with. So that's where all my influences derive from.
Yeah, definitely. That's kind of where my heart lies, and it's good to see that that's still going on out there. I know you got another project, right? Tread. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I do. I have a new band that features one of my dear friends, AJ Piero from Twisted Sister, and the guy is an absolute freak of nature on the kid. I cannot wait for people to actually hear him just unleashed, because everyone thinks of him, from Twisted Sister. We're not going to take it.
Right.
That's great, and I love Twisted Sister. They're one of the best live bands ever. But he's an absolute monster. So we're doing some real heavy stuff. It's a little bit heavier than Adrrenaline Mob, more along the lines of it's really, Rudy calls it tribal and funky, and to me it's like a Black Label meets Megadeth, a little Slipknot, myself. My thing comes through very, very evident. I play a lot more in Tread. And the other member is a living legend we all call Rudy Sarzo. And that is just an honor. I couldn't say much more about Rudy. He's one of the nicest guys I've ever met. He's incredible to be band with personally. I mean, just across the board, the guy is just, he's a monster. And he's playing his ass off in Tread. He's slapping, he's just shredding, he's following me all over the place. He's like a snake on that thing. No pun intended. No pun intended to what snake.
No, absolutely. Rudy Sarzo, man, that's a legend to a lot of bass players. I've seen that guy in several different bands, and all the way back to the Quiet Riot days, and the guy knows his way around the bass and knows his way around stage. That's going to be an awesome thing to hear. Yeah,
we can't wait. I mean, we have the whole album written. There's I think about 12 or 13 songs musically complete already that AJ, Rudy, and myself have tracked. We got a new singer who, we're going to unveil real soon, and he's really slamming. He's got a great style, very unique guy that we got, and we can't wait to come out. Just got to be, the right timing, because I want to come out, and I want it to be, it's not a project, this is a band. I don't do projects, and, lots of people do many different things. I'm just not that guy. So, if I could put my heart and my writing into something, I'm going to get out there, I'm going to play, I'm going to tour it, and I'm going to support it. So we're really excited about that, that's for sure.
And you're just busy all over the place. It's good to see. It's good to see that, somebody like you, a talented musicians out there, making a difference in the rock and roll world, and you're bringing the real, true form rock and roll music, and you're not letting it be tainted. That's awesome. That's an accomplishment.
Yeah, I mean, thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, I've been. It's what I do. I love to work. I've always wrote and recorded. And I have a massive amount of cataloged material that I like to look back on, and I just keep doing it. And I'm working on another Sonic Stomp album, Sonic Stomp 3. So I'm hoping to have some room somewhere in the schedule to actually finish the writing and start tracking it, and then hopefully just remix, remaster Sonic Stomp 1, 2, and 3 all in one nice big package.
That's where Sonic Stomp 1. That's where you first hit my radar and became one of my favorite guitar players. And I'm not just saying that because we're talking right now. I've been telling people for years, about your style. It's interesting. I see a lot of your influences in your playing, but yet you twist them and you have your own style. If that makes any sense to you.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I do, from that I've done from day one. I have so many influences, but I've always been conscious to not copy, but to, just take a big pot and stir it in there. And it's great to tip your hat to the masters and the greats and the people that you idol and you've grown up with, as, teaching you when you were growing up. But never just blatantly rip off something or copy something. That's one thing that I'm very against. And even if it's the simplest lick and it's a simple pentatonic thing, put a twist on it. Do something, Right. Instead of making a left turn, make a right turn. If you're supposed to make a right, go freaking backwards. Just something. It could be anything. So I try and make it interesting, while maintaining, cool mountain technique and style and just everything.
And that's style that's across the board. Not only can you shred with the best of them, your acoustic stuff and your slower stuff is to par with the rest of it.
Yeah. I did 4 or 5 years of just classical training. Always used to play classical. That's where I use a lot of the classical technique in my finger picking, and that's where I got into chicken picking, so to say. I love country, so I do a lot of chicken picking and a lot of banjo rolls and all the stuff that, derived from me learning classical when I was a kid. So I never got into the neoclassical style. I mean, there's the Yngwie's, and to me, Yngwie's amazing. He's the best at what he did back then, and he's still the best at what he does. So it's just I never got into trying to jump on that bandwagon. But it definitely, I've been down that road with the classical, but I think I've used it for different reasons in my head, at least.
Yeah. It's cool that you mentioned that, that you like country music as well, because ultimately I come back to rock and roll all the time, but I do break out and I do listen to other genres of music just to see what's going on. And I grew up exposed to all kinds of music. I had my stepfather was into the old school country music stuff growing up, Statler Brothers, Conway Twitty and whatnot. And my mom was more into the hippie kind of music. So I really have an appreciation of that older stuff and country music and all. It's all good to me.
Oh, I mean, there's so many different incredible things you can learn from other genres. And, I was exposed at 6, 7 years old. My father, all he did was listen to Les Paul and Mary Ford. So I grew up listening to that was my first guitar hero, you know, and before he was even went as Les Paul, he went as Rhubarb Red, and it was a big country guy, and he's just shredding. I mean, clean, fast playing at top speeds back then, and that's what actually really attracted me to the very fast, clean stuff. And I've always tried to maintain that clarity in my playing, you know, when you're hitting those top speeds. And listen to the old Les Paul stuff. It's songs like Lover and How High the Moon, and just shredding.
It is. There's a lot. You're right. There's a lot of good technique to pull out of there, and it gives you a different perspective on stuff. And you know, like you said, it might influence you to you know, write something cool in the rock format based on that. That's a good thing to talk about.
Oh, there's no doubt. I love it. I mean, I found it in my Sonic Stomp 2 album. You know, there's a song. Oh, there's a few songs. I mean, geez, where it just gets a little craziness, and you know, it's kind of like, sounds like a circus and stuff. And that's me pulling from the old school, you know, Les Paul stuff. And you know, you got to tap into certain things. You know, it's just what I did.
Cool. And any new music catching your ear lately? Any new bands you're picking up on that you got a buzz about?
You know, I love so much different stuff. I mean, to be honest, I'm a big fan of Shinedown. That's an incredible, you know, radio-oriented commercial rock act, and that's one of my favorites. But then, you know, I can go to the extremes, and I love Slipknot. You know, one of my favorites, Lamb of God. It's tough. I mean, I like so many different musics. It's tough for me to keep ahead of it too, like, you know, and keep a hold of what's current and everything, because when I'm writing, and if I'm in a mode of doing an album, I try not to listen to really anything. I just kind of, you know, try and go into so I've been, even though we did the Coverta CD and it's just covers, I've been writing for Tread for a while now. So I try and just keep my, you know, my mind kind of not on too much different kind of music right now. So I got to kind of play catch up, you know, get all the new shit.
Yeah, I hear you.
But I love it all.
Out there. Yeah, there's just so much out there to love, and there's a lot of brand new bands that are pulling on those old 70s roots and 70s influences. A lot of bands have gone back to that clean sound we were talking about, doing away with all the over-processing, and that's good to see.
Oh, yeah, there's a band called The Sword. They're just, you know, really, really doing some cool stuff. I mean, there's so many bands like the Holy Grail. There's just lots of different stuff. It's really cool stuff. I'm psyched. What's that?
I was going to say another cool band in that. In fact, they just on tour with Sword. You might check out Gypsy Hawk. A good friend of mine's in that band. Name's Eric Kluber. They're another band in that kind of vein.
Nice, yeah, I will definitely check that out, Gypsy Hawk. The thing that I won't say I'm old school, but what I'm waiting for is the new Sabbath with Ozzy. That's going to be.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
I can't wait for that. That's going to be I think that's going to be a heavy record, and I think a lot of people are waiting to hear that, and hopefully they're going to take that on the road.
Yeah, I hope so, man. I mean, it's a shame about Bill Ward, but I'll take Iommi and Geezer and Ozzy at least. I mean, you know, it's not Sabbath completely, but it'll do for me, you know. It'll
do, yeah. Speaking of bands like that, have you ever had any starstruck moments where you couldn't believe you were standing there talking to somebody?
You know, I mean, I'm not that kind of guy where I've never really been there, you know, like that. And, basically, you know, there was one person, I think, when I met Eddie Van Halen, and it was just laid back. It was just like, hey, man, how's it going? You know, just kind of, he was really cool about it. You know, that was a big thing for me. That's for sure. You know, you just, damn. You know, I mean, it's Eddie.
That's very cool. So we're talking to Mike Orlando from Adrrenaline Mob, Tread, Sonic Stomp. He's done us a great service by giving us a call today and talking stuff. Tell us about the websites for Adrrenaline Mob and Tread.
Yeah, the tread we haven't launched yet, but, Adrrenaline Mob is full on, adrenalinemob.com. I mean, we have everything up there. We got all the cool videos and all the tour dates. A lot of content on there. We're always posting. We're keeping it, up to date. You can see the new tracking of video, of Romeo's Delight on there. And go and check it out. And everything A-Mob is adrenalinemob.com. My site, Mike Orlando Music, that is my personal site, which is my Sonic Stomp site.
And that stuff is very cool, people. You've really got to check it out and check out this guy's playing. It's amazing. And I believe Mike Orlando should be categorized as one of the top players playing right now.
Well, thank you very much, man. I'm doing my job, and hopefully I'm doing it well.
Cool, man. Thanks for calling.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me. My pleasure, man.
You betcha.
All right, brother. Thanks, man.